In recent years, Christians have looked in horror as their brothers and sisters around the world have been subject to a number of challenges and difficulties that we do not experience in the West. Severe oppression, persecution, and trials of every kind seem to face them. In particular with Islamic State, Christians have wondered if their brothers and sisters have been the target of genocide. Earlier this week, the U.S. government made two important announcements declaring the actions of Islamic State against Christians and other religious minorities in Iraq and Syria to be genocide under international law. And here are three things you should know about this declaration. The term genocide was coined by a Polish lawyer who immigrated to the U.S. in 1941 and drafted a Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, a resolution that was adopted by the United States General Assembly in 1948. The Genocide Convention was the first human rights treaty adopted by the Assembly of the United Nations. Article 2 of the Convention defines genocide as being any of 5 acts committed with intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. The 5 acts of genocide are killing the members of the group, causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part, imposing measures intended to prevent births within the group, and forcibly transferring children of the group to another group. Several international organizations have claimed that Islamic State has committed all 5 types of atrocities against Christians and other minority religious groups. On Monday, the House of Representatives cast a unanimous vote of 393 to 0 for a non-binding sense of Congress resolution labeling the crimes of Islamic State against Christians and other minority religious and ethnic groups in Syria and Iraq to be genocide. This is the first time the House has voted for such a resolution since 2004, when it said genocide was being committed in Darfur. Last December, as part of the 2015 Omnibus Government Spending Bill, Congress also included a resolution requiring the Obama administration to say whether the Islamic State was committing genocide. Congress gave the executive branch until March 17, 2016 to make the statement. On Wednesday, a State Department spokesman said the agency would miss Congress's deadline for making a pronouncement and that Secretary of State John Kerry was taking a, quote, measured approach and that this decision would come soon. But on Thursday, the last day for Congress's deadline, Secretary Kerry gave a speech in which he declared that the U.S. had determined that Islamic State has committed acts of genocide. In his speech, Secretary Kerry used the acronym Daesh to refer to the Islamic State. Secretary Kerry said that his purpose was to assert that, in his judgment, Daesh is responsible for genocide against groups and areas under its control, including Yazidis, Christians, and Shia Muslims. Daesh is genocidal by self-proclamation, by ideology, and by actions, in what it says, what it believes, and what it does, said Secretary Kerry. Daesh is also responsible for crimes against humanity and ethnic cleansing, directed at these same groups, and in some cases also against Sunni Muslims, Kurds, and other minorities. So pray for our brothers and sisters, in particular those suffering in these areas, in Iraq and Syria. Pray that they might know the love of the Father, and pray that the Lord would, in His mercy, send relief and put an end to the violence that they suffer for His name.